Hey, this is Biggie Hardcore, and welcome back to another episode of Buy, Avoid, or Wait for Sale, or in this case, download from PS Plus, as the game is Destruction AllStars, which is free for the first 2 months. In this video, I'll be going through what the game actually is, as I think there are still some people who don't really know. I'll also be going through the different game modes, the gameplay, and my overall thoughts on if you should get this game or not. Right, let's get into it. So, Destruction AllStars is basically a demolition derby game with over-the-top cartoony characters like what you would find in games like Overwatch. There are 16 characters to choose from at launch, each with their own hero vehicle and breaker abilities for inside and outside the vehicle. Each character has a meter at the bottom left of the screen, which will slowly build up as you crash into things. But you can speed this up by getting out of the car and collecting these pink crystals around the arena. Or in team games, you can collect these breaker tokens, which will fill up the meter for the entire team. When on foot, the breaker varies depending on the character. For example, one may be able to run at high speed, while another can leave a trail of fire behind them to damage other players. With the aero vehicles, you can activate special weapons or abilities, like there's one that puts a massive blade on the car to slice through enemy vehicles when you ram them, while another can go invisible. These abilities will slowly recharge after use to prevent them from being overpowered, and depending on what game mode you're playing, you may want to choose when you actually core down your vehicle, and these cars can be cored down multiple times during the match and can be used until they're wrecked. Before you can actually core your hero vehicle, there are loads of cars available around the arena for you to drive. They will just spawn randomly. So it's a case of when you're driving, if your car takes too much damage, you can just hop out and run and grab another one. But you have to do it without getting hit. You can also jack other players' cars. You jump on it, they have to press like a sequence of buttons like square and circle. If done on time without the other driver shaking you off, you'll be given two options. You can either take control of their car, so you'll basically kick them out their own car and jack it for yourself, or you can actually wreck their car just by pushing a button. So this is actually a pretty cool feature of the game. Now there are 4 multiplayer game modes, 2 solo and 2 8v8 team modes. There's Mayhem, which is basically a free-for-all where you have to wreck as many enemy cars to rack up points as you can within the time limit, and whoever has the most points wins. There's Grid 4, where random parts of the floor will disappear during the match. You only have 1 life, so if you get wrecked or if you fall into one of the holes, it's game over for you, and it's basically a last man standing mode. There's Carnado, which is actually my favorite mode. This one is a team mode where you collect gears by ramming into enemy drivers. Then you have to deposit those gears by driving your car into the Carnado in the center of the arena. The gears are collected in the car, so if the car is destroyed, you lose anything you've collected. Now, the final mode is Stockpile, where you have to get out of your car to collect gears whenever they're available, and then you have to deposit them into a bank. Now there are 3 banks, and whoever completely maxes out the bank, or whichever team fills up the most banks, will win the match. To be honest, it really wasn't one of my favorite modes. I hardly played it, so I just couldn't bother this one. I kept going back to Carnado because to me that was the most fun. Arcade modes lets you play the 4 different multiplayer modes in single player against bots, so nothing special there. It's just for if you really don't want to play against other players for some reason. Then there's a challenge series, which basically lets you play through a character story in a series of different events with different bonus objectives. It's basically like playing through a tower in Mortal Kombat, and then at the end you get a little story conclusion for the character that you've chosen. Only in this one I got to play some events that aren't in the multiplayer. And you get the challenge series for 1 character for free, but I'll go into that more later. So for gameplay, Destruction AllStars is pretty good. okay? It makes good use of the DualSense controller. When out of the vehicle, you feel a little tapping as you run around from left to right as each foot touches the ground. When the car is damaged, the triggers will start putting up some resistance, and it's how I was judging when to bail out of my car and find another one rather than looking at the car's health meter. The matches are pretty short. We're talking around 5 to 10 minutes, which I actually don't mind, because for me, this is a pick up and play kind of game. Something to play when I just need a quick gaming fix. When it comes to customization, you can use the in-game currency you've collected through gameplay to buy skins for each character and their vehicle. When it comes to stupid shit like emotes, you can use the basic currency for some of them, or the paid currency. I really don't understand why people want to spend their money on that shit, but you know, each their own. But let's talk about the challenge series again. As I mentioned earlier, you get one character story for free, but when you want to access the others, if you want to access them, you have to pay for them. So to get the 2 additional challenge modes already available, it comes to 600 credits, which you're looking at spending around £8 to buy 1,000 credits to be able to cover it. Now, I have mixed feelings about this, and it depends on what happens after the first 2 months. If Sony decide to put the game back up to £70, which is what they originally wanted to sell the game for, and then still ask players to buy content which should really be for free, nah, sorry, but that's a piss take. On the other hand, if they decide to keep the game free to play, I don't really have a problem, because the developers need to make their money. I personally think they should have given us 3 or 4 of these challenge modes, these character stories for free, because I'm guessing that they're going to do a character story for each of the 16 characters and then probably add more characters in the future. So now it's time for the verdict, which is going to be different depending on when you watch this video. If you're watching within the first 2 months of launch, definitely get this game. Yes, it's free at the moment, but I won't recommend the free game to you that I think is trash. But with this one, it's kind of a no-brainer. You're getting a fun Demolition Derby game that uses features of the DualSense controller, so it's at least worth a try. If you don't like it, just delete it. For me, I often need a quick gaming fix, especially if I've been having a stressful day while working from home. So having something that I can just pick up and play for 10 to 15 minutes on the PS5 is definitely needed. However, if we're skipping 2 months into the future, it really depends on how much the game costs. Let me just come out straight with you and say it, this game is not worth £70. And yes, I'm in the UK, so I'm talking £70, not $70, like it would be America. So if we did the conversion, we're talking around $96. Now, I'm having problems paying that for any game at the moment, which is why I got the physical edition of the PS5, so I can buy second-hand games at a better price when needed. But to pay that for a pick-up-and-play game is ridiculous. If I had to pay for it, considering what we're getting, I'd say it's worth maybe £20 to £25 max. But it really would be better if Sony just kept it as a free-to-play game, especially since they're selling some of the game modes that should be in there for free. Giving it away for free for 2 months was definitely the right call. But what about all those people who can't get a PS5 during those 2 months because of the ongoing battle against scalpers? Are they really going to want to pay £70 for this game? I doubt it. So basically, if you missed out on the game in the first 2 months, check out gameplay online to see if it's for you, and then wait for it to be reduced in a sale, if Sony decides to charge for it. Now, I've left some affiliate links in the description for if you need to renew your PS Plus membership, and if for some reason you actually want to spend money on any of these microtransactions, I've also included links to PSN wallet top-ups. Now, if you found the video useful, please remember to leave it a like, and also share it with anyone else who may be interested in this game. Also, if this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button, and remember to click the notification bell and check out some other videos. Thanks for watching.